What's up? Welcome to Monday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen. Who have we got on the call? All right, which city are you tuning in from? Where are my Perth people? Where are my Melbourne people? Who we got in England? Who we got tuning in? Drop in the chat, say hello, let me know you're breathing. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Alrighty. Drop in the chat. I know there's a bit of a delay. Who we got on YouTube? Who we got on LinkedIn? Oh, Marshall's here. You're here, aren't you, Marshall? Wait, buddy. We're working over here, mate. Can you guys... Marshall, stop it. Can you guys drop in the chat, let me know you're there? I want to make sure I've got an audience I'm talking to here. Marshall, shush. Are you finished? Alright, while you're dropping in the chat, I'm going to grab Marshall. Come here. Say hello to everyone, Marshall. I'm not seeing your chats pop up, guys. Are you guys there? Why isn't it showing up? All right, we're going to come out and we're going to come back in. I'm not seeing you guys show up on the chat. Let me have a quick look on, I'll just have a quick look on LinkedIn and then we'll get started. I'm assuming you guys can hear me. It says I'm live here. Oh yeah, we've got a bit of an audience. Oh, now I can see your comments here, but I can't see them there. Well, hello Amelia, hello Susan, hello Ian, Oliver from Austria, Ethan from Perth. All right, good to know you guys can hear me, and I wasn't just talking to thin air. Welcome to a cool episode of Monday Night Live. This might be I was planning to do a bit of Q&A today, which is going to be a bit challenging if the chat's not going to start showing up. So hopefully it sorts itself out. So today, I think I might talk about something that I guess was going to be relevant to everybody on every platform, because we have got we've got a few people tuning in on YouTube, got quite a few people tuning in on Facebook, always got a few on LinkedIn, and I guess what's happening in the world at the moment is, I don't know if you guys were aware, but like Perth's been put into temporary lockdown just till Friday. What's happening is, I think businesses across, oh, by the way, cheers. I don't know if you noticed, I got a wine in my hand tonight, which I don't normally do. First day of lockdown in Perth, I think it's allowed. But businesses are being forced to adapt to accommodate this like new economy that we're living in, the new way of people transacting. And so social media has become imperative, not only for salespeople, but for marketers as well. And I think, you know, the shift towards social selling is quite an important one. It's quite easy for us to transition and start doing virtual meetings and not take into account that there's a whole bunch of new skills that need to be developed in order to have a successful virtual meeting or to be successful prospecting on social media, to keep people engaged when you not necessarily can expect them to walk into your office and shake your hand. So it's become imperative. And, you know, from everything that I've learned about social selling over the years, I can tell you that the skills that you need to be successful prospecting on social media, not the same as the skills you need to be successful prospecting in a networking function or even over the telephone. And it's the same applies with virtual meetings. And I've noticed that if you can captively engage people on social media or in a virtual meeting, your closing rate will go up. And I've done a bit of research. There's some research that supports this. And so being comfortable in front of a camera and being able to do video content actually makes you stand out from the crowd quite a lot. I always used to say that whether you do articles, whether you post images, it didn't matter too much. You do the medium you're comfortable with. I'm leading way more towards the video side of things now, based on where the world is at. Virtual meetings are always going to be way more successful. Like if you want to have a meeting with somebody and you show your face, it's going to be more successful, hands down. But you got to think of ways to engage the audience. And it doesn't take much. That's the good thing, is most people are just having these, quite stock standard, boring virtual meetings. But if you can use some of the skills that you would use like on video and social media and apply them to like a virtual meeting, for example, you can do extremely well. So some of the things would be like storytelling is a big skill. If you can use stories, I always say facts tell, stories sell. If you can master the art of storytelling, people will remember what you're talking about, which is can make a huge difference. I really wish I could see your questions showing up. Why is it not loading here? It's strange, isn't it? Well, we'll get to some of the LinkedIn questions because I know I've got a few of you guys on there. So they're showing up in the chat on the screen for you guys here, but they're not showing up for me. Can you hear me in the background? I'm looking at my comments. Yeah, so if any of you on LinkedIn want to drop in and ask some questions, I'll keep an eye on them over here. We've got quite a good turnout today, given that things aren't working as well as I would like them to. When are you going to join Clubhouse? I've got 4 text messages in the last 24 hours about Clubhouse. The thing with Clubhouse is they're only available on the iOS, aren't they? And I'm an Android man. It's going to take more than a social media app to change that. Samantha Scott is watching. Welcome on YouTube. I just got a text message. So storytelling's one, but also like being able to get people to engage. Like having the chat functionality working your end will make a big difference. I'm just going to try one more thing. I've got an idea. Oh, wow. Hey, this is cool. It's working now. All right. Hey, there we go. Boom. Got the chat working. Shame on you for using Android. Yeah. Well, look, shame on Clubhouse for not having Android. But correct me if I'm wrong, but like the guys that are inviting me to join Clubhouse, they're all marketers and creators. Is anybody else using the platform? I'm curious. Let me know in the chat. I can see your chats now. I'm excited. We can have this interactive conversation now. Let me know. And so like being able to get people to engage, like it's very easy to do a presentation to like multiple people in a virtual conference meeting and talk at them. But like, face to face, maybe you would do it a little bit differently. And so being able to like get people to interact with you becomes really important. David, how far advanced would you plan your content calendar? Well, I try to plan my content the month prior. Having said that, the content's created I have enough content for the next year on this hard drive here sticking out of my computer. So it's created and then I schedule it a month in advance. There's always content that I add to it. I'm always creating new stuff, but I have got enough there for for the next year. And so I think it's a good idea to map out in advance like your content strategy. So you might have like 3 pillars, 3 things that you 3 areas that you add value in. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to your business. It just has to be something that people relate to. So if you have those 3 divisions and you think about, okay, how do I create content for each of them? One of the good ways to do it is you create what I call like a pillar piece of content, like a big rock, right? So let's say, for example, you're talking about social media marketing, that you could create either, it could be like an ebook, which is like, I don't know, 30 pages, for example, and it's got all the information like that you could possibly think of, and you put a lot of effort into it, creating this ebook. Or it could be like a 1 hour long interview that you do, right? That talks about all the things about content marketing. Or it could be a 1 hour talk that you do all about content marketing. And then what you do is you take that pillar piece of content and you use it to create all this micro content. I got this strategy. It's an adaptation from Gary Vee's content model. So Gary Vee posts about 100 times a day across different social channels. Got about 25 people in the Gary Vee team. And so you don't have to post 100 times, but you can learn a lot from how efficient he is, right? So if he's using one piece of content to create 50 pieces of content, we can do the same thing, but a 50 piece of content might last us a month, And then I've got like these other content pillars. Monday Night Live, which we're on now, is a content pillar, right? So every week, I tune in and like sometimes I'll have guests, but basically we're just talking about entrepreneurship and social media marketing every week without fail. So you don't constantly have to be coming up with new ideas. LinkedIn Heroes is another example. I'm interviewing entrepreneurs making an impact, So content ideas are very hard to come up with if you have to come up with them on a daily basis. The great thing about having a strategy is you come up with an idea once that you can consistently post content about forever in a day. And then when you're creating it, you always want to batch create. It makes a huge difference. It's not something that I was doing at the start, and I can tell you, like especially if you're doing videos and you want to get them professionally done, like it can be a huge investment unless you're batch creating. It makes a big difference. Lorraine, good to see you here. What would you recommend to those anxious about going live, creating video? I guess like it's confidence, right? And people don't just wake up and have confidence about being on camera. I certainly didn't. I was very, very uncomfortable and nervous in front of the camera, but competence builds confidence. So it's just a matter of practicing. And I think, the more you do it in life, whether you do it in front of the camera, when you do it in sales situations, speaking from stage, jumping out of airplanes, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations is something that takes practice. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you become being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So you just got to do it. Like there's no 2 ways about it. And to be honest with you, like the biggest thing that holds people back, like they'll do it, but they won't post it, is because they're perfectionists. And like perfectionism, is that a word? Perfectionism. Being a perfectionist is a form of procrastination. At the end of the day, like it's never going to be perfect. It's probably as good as it's going to get. Post it, get the feedback, do another one, get better. That's my advice. And you got to remember as well, like if you're feeling anxious about being in front of the camera, your competitors are too. It just means that less people are going to do it. I think it's very similar to speaking from stage, being a public speaker. A lot of people are uncomfortable doing it, therefore less people doing it. You cut through a lot of the noise. Very, very nervous about public speaking when I started, but I started when I was 17. So by the time I was 21, I was quite comfortable doing it. Hey, Paul, thanks for tuning in. You applied 3 times to LinkedIn to allow me to go live, but haven't had success. What are you doing wrong? Well, when you ask LinkedIn to make you a live contributor, they're looking for people that are consistently posting and adding value already, and that have a plan for what they're going to do with their live video content. So it's one of those things. And to be honest, if you've applied 3 times, I would be going into the help section of LinkedIn, submitting a ticket and asking them for feedback as to why they think that you haven't been approved. They should tell you, I would imagine, but yeah, tell them you plan to go live once a week. That's the optimum amount of times. Like once a week, they want content creators that post once a week. And I think you're posting, Paul, aren't you, on video? So you should have that track record. But yeah, I'll have a chat to you on WhatsApp about it later if you want. Love the consistent standards. Oh, thanks, Lorraine. It's very kind of you. Ian thinks I sound a lot more confident now. It's because I've got a wine in front of me, mate. See, the thing is, if I hadn't done loads of these before, not being able to see the chat at the start of the live would have freaked me out big time. Well, I was quite relaxed because these things happen. Like, things go wrong all the time. you just gotta stay calm and do the best you can. I'm just having a look through some of the other chats here. Yeah, Ian's never heard of Clubhouse. Good man. Clubhouse. Elon Musk on there last night. Gary V, property marketers, change business. Elon Musk is on there. Jeez. What am I talking about? He got FOMO. Well, look. Geez, if I continue to hear about this Clubhouse thing, I'll get an iPad. How does that sound? Because they should be on Android, man. Like these iPhone users. So, all right. So, look, guys, I'd encourage you all to get into video marketing. I've noticed that the guys that are best at it are the ones that post the most. So when I say like post every day, it's not because I think that your audience necessarily needs to get impressions from you every day. I think it's mainly because you get the practice and the live feedback. You know, there's a lot of value in posting stuff out there that doesn't do well. There's a lot of value in failure, right? So like, if you do put something out there and you learn what doesn't work, there's value in that. There's a lot of value in that. So I don't mistake failure as like a, you know, it's a learning experience. And sometimes if you can miss the learning sometimes if you beat yourself up too much about it. So make sure that you use that market feedback. You got to remember that if you post something that doesn't get engagement, that doesn't get views, it's not like everybody in your network sees that video and they see that it's not popular. Because it's not getting engagement, most of them not going to see it. They don't know it's there. So they're only going to see the successful ones. So I just think throw lots of spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks, and you'll learn what works quicker than anyone else. I learned a lot about what I do on social media quite late in the game. One of the interviews that I did on LinkedIn Heroes was really valuable for me, was with Grant Cardone. You know, I asked Grant Cardone offline, you know, I said, you know, what do I need to do to get to the next level? Like I told him how many followers I had, I showed him how much engagement I was getting. He was, I'll tell you what, like, you know, when you look at his content, Grant Cardone, if any of you follow him, like I can see how like he rubs a lot of people up the wrong way, but off camera, he's one of the nicest men I've ever met. And he's got a great family, his kids were fantastic. And he said to me, he said two things. He said, one is you need to post more. He said to post more because you learn the feedback from what the market's telling you. And he also said you need to have a bigger opinion on things. He said you don't have enough haters. And I thought that was really interesting. And he said to me, well, you know, I don't have a strategy to get haters, but he goes, I know that my content's going to do well if I've got a few. Because if you've got like 1,000 people following you or 1,000 people watching your content, in order for it to be like really exciting for say 200 of them, it has to be like really annoying for like 50 of them, right? And so, you know, this comes back to like everybody's not your client. And you got to learn like which ones are your clients and appeal more to them, you know, to stand out from all the noise. You know, the fact that our attention span is so short on social media in particular, means that you got two choices. You can either use like things like clickbait. You can use techniques to capture attention. You can make your videos really short, that kind of stuff. But they're all like techniques and they're all hacks to hack attention. At the end of the day, like it's very hard to do that and at the same time create value. Whereas if you stand out from the crowd by your opinions on things and you stand out from the crowd because you're different, then you can capture attention and you can hold on to it. One of the things I've been talking about on LinkedIn a lot lately is dwell time. So there's two social media sites that use dwell time, Facebook and LinkedIn. And what dwell time is it's like, okay, so like a piece of content's there, like we're not just going to look at how many people like it. We're not just going to look at how many people comment on it, and people share it. We want to know if people are actually consuming this content, right? Because what's happened is when social media started, they would use engagement as a to monitor like whether or not a piece of content was valuable, and then like people would use psychological bias to boost their content. And what I mean by that is like one example is and I can't pronounce this bloody word. I can't pronounce this word. Reciprocity. I can't pronounce it, but it's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And so if you like and comment on other people's stuff, they will like and comment on your stuff back. It's just like natural human being behavior. It's like these sales guys who sell, investment management services, and I saw a lot of them when I was living in Hong Kong, and they would take their clients out and spend all this money on them, taking them out to the nice restaurants and buying them champagne. And then eventually, like, they spend so much money on them that these guys would do investment deals with them, right? Reciprocity. I can't pronounce it. But anyway, so sometimes this would even take a formal relationship as a thing called like an engagement pod, where like these content creators would join a group, and then every day like they would share a link to a post that they did in the group. And like if I was a member of the group and you were a member of the group, I would like and comment on your stuff, you could like and comment on my stuff. We'd artificially inflate each other's content. And so like LinkedIn and Facebook are well aware of this. And LinkedIn, they're product managers, they meet at 10 a.m. every Friday in California, and they talk about, okay, what's going on LinkedIn? How do we give our users a better experience, right? And so one of the things that comes up, of course, is things like engagement pods. And so dwell time, all it means is, the amount of time that people dwell on your post. And there's two types of dwell time. There is how much dwell time do they stop scrolling and look at your post in the feed? And then after they click, whether they click on read more, or they click on play the video, or click on read the article, how much time do they dwell after that, right? So, that's one factor that they've put in, that they've made public, and, we're aware of it on the LinkedIn algorithm. So why I mention this is because, like, when I started in online marketing, I went and worked for my dad in Thailand, and he was selling real estate, selling pool villas to foreigners. And I started in the middle of the low season, like Phuket, Thailand, very seasonal. And so it was raining outside, there's no foreigners on the island, and I'm the salesperson. And, the development had sold one property in the last 6 months. It's raining outside, there's no foreigners on the island, so I'm thinking, how do I get customers? I was just starting my job straight out of uni, really motivated. And I was sitting there, and I had one of these things in front of me, a laptop. And I thought, well, the only way that I can prospect at the moment is through this thing. So I just spent the next like 3 or 4 months learning how to get a website to the top of Google. So when somebody was searching like investment property Thailand, we'd show up at number 1. And we were getting 10 leads a day by high season. And we sold like 73 properties that high season, did 4 more developments after that. And it was awesome. Like, we were just killing it just through online marketing, search engine optimization. And I'm definitely not telling you this to boast, because here comes the hook. Here comes the learning curve. I get recruited by a company in Hong Kong who hears this guy can get websites and real estate to the top of Google. This company was Hong Kong Home, so the biggest real estate agency in Hong Kong, had 150 real estate agents. And while I'm on the way to Hong Kong from a new glorious job, we're like, I was a young guy. I thought I was the man. I thought, this is just a start. And Google updates its algorithm. What's an algorithm update? I had no idea at the time. And so all it meant is like Google's doing the same thing that LinkedIn and Facebook is now, and they're meeting up and they're talking about how do we give our users a better experience. And they've updated the algorithm so that all of the guys like me who are hacking their way to the top of Google by using things like backlinks and joining like these websites which would like give you all this link juice to make your website look more popular than it was, went from like page 1 on Google to page 10, page 100 sometimes, dropped right off the search rankings. And so, I learned that, in order for you to be successful in online marketing, you have to be able to adapt And then, I moved into Google AdWords in Hong Kong. I was like, the algorithm's updated. We can't do this way anymore. We've got to do Google advertising. And Google advertising just started. And we were getting like 20 cents a click for real estate related keywords. And so I just crushed it at Google AdWords. And then Google AdWords, it's a paid medium. It just became more popular. And 20 cents a click went for $1, went to $5, went for $10, went to $20. Like some instances now you pay $40 a click in like real estate or finance related industries. And so it's when things become more competitive, they become less effective and therefore they don't work as well. But if you align your objectives with the platform's objectives, you will always win. Because all of a sudden that meeting on Friday morning at 10 a.m. in LinkedIn's office is serving you, not working against you. So my advice is to stop trying to hack the algorithm, stop trying to trick the algorithm, trying to come up with the short-term hacks and align your objective with the platform. And the platform's objective is always to keep the users on there. And so they're trying to give their users a better experience. So if you're thinking about how to give your audience a better experience, you will win in the long term. It's the only way you'll win in the long term. Same thing happened on Instagram. All the influencers that bought their likes and bought their followers or joined engagement pods, and they were like making a lot of money from brand deals, right? They're not making any money now. They're all broke. Or if they are, it won't last much longer. Because in the end, like these guys who are creating these algorithms, they're smarter than the guys trying to break them. It's always going to be easy to hack them at the start. I'm sure. I don't know. I think Clubhouse, from what I can tell, there's no. They don't have a model for like monetizing Clubhouse, from what I've heard. But I'm sure there's lots of hacks on the platform at the moment. And they'll evolve and change. All right, let's get through a few more of these questions. Melissa Matthews, getting off the bench and going to start going out there. Thanks to your content. That's awesome. Well done. Amber, what are your thoughts about writing LinkedIn articles in 2021? Is there still any relevance if you are producing video? What are your thoughts on long form written content this year? Yeah, I do see a lot of value in long form written content. I do one article a month. They just got to be really valuable because the keywords, the articles that do the best are the longest ones and the ones that have the most value. So you got to just put a lot of research in. I've been doing it for a long time because articles was the only thing you could do on LinkedIn for a while. So I've become quite efficient at writing them. And I think the way that you justify the amount of time that you put into it is with every article you write, you say to yourself, okay, I'm also going to make this into a video. I'm also going to make this into 20 shorter form pieces of micro content. Then it becomes worthwhile. But yeah, the articles are really good. And I do see the value in putting them on your website as well. I don't know if Google was always doing this, but there's the articles on LinkedIn are showing up less in Google, and the links through to your website are also no follow links. Getting into semantics here, but like on search engine optimization, a no follow link is basically a link that Google doesn't take much notice of. So that's something to take into consideration. So like when you post on LinkedIn, also post it on your blog so that you can get some organic traffic. Hope some of you are having a glass of wine on this Monday night. Clubhouse is coming out for Android anyway. Oh, cool. I'll definitely check it out. I think you said, oh yeah, thanks Ian, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that. What other comments we got here? Any more questions, guys? So good to see so many of you here. I'm getting all the LinkedIn comments come through. Oh yeah, there's a YouTube one there. Applied 3 times to LinkedIn. How do I get an invite? Ian wants a invite to Clubhouse, guys. Who's on LinkedIn that can invite Ian? Let's help him out. And Paul, I'm gonna connect with you about this LinkedIn Live thing. See if we can work that out. Melissa, how long should the videos be? Yeah, great question. Well, look, on LinkedIn, I'd stick to 2 to 3 minutes. Like I think, like it can be longer if the value is there for sure. But and obviously with these lives, like longer is better. Live's a bit of a different story. But you want to be able to capture attention and then keep it. And I think, to be able to make your message like as concise as possible just means you're packing more value into 2 to 3 minutes. There's Ian's LinkedIn handle there, guys. If anyone's got a Clubhouse invite, I'm sure he'll appreciate it. So 2 to 3 minutes, yeah. Like anything longer than that, it kind of ends up being a bit more of a. I thought Ian's on your handle's. Oh, so you've got an invite. Have you? Oh, Dave's got one. Okay, there you go. Happy to help you guys out. That's good. But with the videos, just something to keep in mind is like traditionally, like when you, the format for storytelling with videos is you want to make sure you put the hook right at the start, right? So you want to build something called like intrigue or curiosity, and that's what keeps people watching. So if you tell people, like on this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 secrets to growing your YouTube channel, for example, and then people want to keep watching because they want to know the answer. If you ever watch like a TV show and like you got hooked in the first season, right? By the second season, the TV show's not as good anymore. Like you kind of think it's not that good, but you're still watching it at season 4 because you want to know how it ends because you're invested. You started watching, you know what I mean? So like you don't want to just jump into it. So like some people will post a video going, okay, these are the 3 things you need to know to grow your channel on YouTube. And they go like, hi, the first thing you need to know is, and they get straight into the content. They don't build any curiosity or intrigue, which is what hooks the people. Like if you ever watch a video and it starts to like piss you off a little bit because they've just like done so much preamble, they're probably overdoing it, but there is a reason behind why they're doing that. So it's to keep you watching, to tell you what you're going to get, build that intrigue so you keep watching. Makes a big difference. All right, guys. We've done 36 minutes. Thanks for watching another episode of Monday Night Live. Just a quick reminder, next Thursday, if you're in West Australia, we're about to blow the roof off the Rendezvous Hotel in Scarborough for LinkedIn versus Instagram. If you haven't got your tickets, last few tickets are remaining. Drop in the comments if you would like one, and I will send you a link where you can get preferential treatment. We've got some VIP tickets available as well. I'm going to do some drinks overlooking the ocean, which will be awesome, with my partner in crime, Brooke Valinovich from Instagram. And if you're not in Perth, the following week on the 17th, I believe it is, we're doing LinkedIn versus Instagram, the virtual experience, which I'm really excited about. We've got some technologically advanced partners that we're teaming up with to try and to bring as much value. I've been watching a lot of Tony Robbins events virtually lately, and he's given me a lot of inspiration as to what we can do to make the virtual experience a bit more lively, a bit more fun. So I'm super excited about that. Can't wait to share that with you guys. LinkedIn versus Instagram is going down. It's going to be awesome. Have a fantastic week in business. Go out there and crush it, guys. I really appreciate your attention. Have a great week.